Sharon still there? Let's see. There you are.
All right, we're live.
Good evening, and thanks for participating in the Brisbane Virtual Town Hall with me, Mayor Pro Tem Cunningham and Councilmember Madison Davis. This evening we have three special guests joining us this evening. Noreen Leek from Park and Rec, she's the manager of the Park and Rec department. And we have John Mazza, the president of the Brisbane Lions Club, and Sharon Boggs, who is a member of the Lions Club, and she's also managing the COVID-19 Response Coalition website for our residents. Tonight's town hall will be streamed live on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Brisbane, California, and the video link will be shared on the city's website, Facebook, and next door for the community to watch afterwards. Remember, for this meeting, you can also turn off your video if you don't want to be seen, just by hitting your video, where is it? At the bottom of the page, you'll see the video. You can just click that and your name will just come up instead of your face as well. We'll come back to you in just a little bit to show you how to unmute yourself to ask questions once we go through our presentation. Okay, who is starting? Okay, that would be me. So that would be me, yeah. So one of the things that has struck me, both personally and as somebody, watching out for our community during this entire COVID-19 thing, is, coping with the anxiety of all of this. We've got financial anxiety, we've got physical anxiety, and we really need to keep a handle on that. One of the things that we're saying to people is, could you please reach out if you need somebody singing? Somebody's whistling in the background.
Okay, so I have to admit it's my house because the threshold of my door is subpar. So whenever there's any wind outside, sounds like a hurricane. Sorry.
Okay. No, I just thought somebody was whistling at us.
And then the fan in my kitchen starts banging around. So
okay. It's you. All right, we got it. So, if you're feeling that you really need someone to talk to, please reach out. And we've all reached out to each other and, expressed how we're feeling about this. Sort of happy to see that some things have changed for the better for all of us today. But one thing I think everybody needs to get used to, the idea that we are probably going to be wearing masks for a long time, even if a lot of the restrictions are lifted and we get out a bit more. The one thing that we are going to be wearing is masks, I think, for a long time. So get yourself a bunch of good masks. There's people in town who are making them. There's people in town who are giving them away. And if you want to make some masks for your neighbors, I'm sure they'd love that too. So this slide just shows you a few things of how to cope with anxiety, and it's one of the things on the top of my list of things for us to watch out for. Okay, next slide.
Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about the new shelter-in-place order. There's been an extension of the existing order, but it's been modified. And we just got the language today. So we aren't really prepared to go into really fine detail on what the order says until we've had time to really digest it. But I'll go ahead and kind of go over some of the main points. So the current shelter-in-place order has been extended until May 31st. But there's now some new things new privileges, so to speak, that we can enjoy. So previously, you were limited to only traveling within 5 miles of your house to recreate. Now that's been lifted. You can actually go as far as 10 miles away from your residence to recreate. And if you visit someplace like the beach, They're asking that it's just simply for a walk, not to set up camp all day with a blanket and, a cooler and an umbrella. It's really meant to be just, for your enjoyment on a walk. I know that a lot of the parking lots will remain closed because they don't want people to just be flocking to the beach. So that's just kind of an example of some of those restrictions being a little bit lifted. You'll still need, of course, as Karen mentioned, to wear a face covering. Now, landscapers and gardeners and people whose business is really majority doing sort of outside work, they're going to be allowed to operate again. And also real estate agents are allowed to resume transactions. But there are some safety precautions they need to put into place in order to manage things like, viewings of the homes and that sort of thing. And then all construction can resume as well, but there are also certain safety precautions that need to be in place in order to do that. So the hope is, and this is feedback that we got during our county call today, is that while this is going to be extended until May 31st, really the hope is that we can lift this even earlier and get, more privileges before May 31st. And that's really going to kind of be based on how well the public is cooperating and what our cases are looking like. And recommendations will shift so that it'll be more based on behaviors and less based on essential versus non-essential businesses, if that makes sense. So just some high level updates there. And then of course on the county's website, you can view the order in its entirety. If you would like to read it more thoroughly, it's up on the county's website, smcgov.org. And then there are going to be some county parks reopening as well, starting on May 4th. And that includes San Bruno Mountain Park. And then lastly, the SMC Strong Fund went live. I believe it was on Monday, and they received an enormous amount of applications within a 4-hour period. While the application was live, they actually had to cut that off just because there were so many people that applied. 187 people logged in the very first minute alone. And so now those applications are getting reviewed, and soon people will be selected for if their business qualifies. Once San Mateo Credit Union has evaluated the applications, they will send all of those that qualify to the county. The county will review and have the final say on which businesses will be receiving those $10,000 grants. And if you want more information on that, it's smcstrong.org. And I think that's it for me. And I received a text. I don't know if you can hear me, Ingrid, but I received a text that some people are having trouble getting in. There was a conference number and passcode that was sent out via email, I believe, today. And people are having trouble using that. I don't know. I just got a text that some people are having trouble getting in.
Can you forward me the text and I can
Yeah.
respond?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it's
Can I
Noreen.
go ahead?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thanks so much for the opportunity to speak a little bit about what we're doing to support our senior population in town. When the initial shelter order came in, our team immediately started making phone calls on a weekly and daily basis to our senior residents just to gauge their kind of mental well-being and determine what types of support they needed, and to kind of combat issues around food insecurities. A lot of the feedback that we got from those seniors was that they really missed the Wednesday luncheons. And so our team has been working with Samaritan House to provide weekly lunches on Wednesdays. We did it for the first time last week, and again today. We served twice as many people today as we did last week. So it was really great that we've had a great response, and people are willing to come to Mission Blue between 12 and 12:30 on Wednesdays to pick up a meal. And we're also providing a limited number of deliveries to those individuals who are unable to leave their homes. We've also had other residents step up with willingness to deliver meals to neighbors as well. So it's the true Brisbane spirit in action, and it's been really great to see that. So we intend to continue the service as long as Samaritan House has the resources to provide meals. So if people within the community are interested, or they have a neighbor in town that is in need of a meal, they can call 415-508-2144 and submit a reservation for a meal. We are asking that meal reservations be submitted by the end of the week on Friday, so that we have ample time to submit our full reservation count to Samaritan House prior to their deadline. So if any new meal requests come in, we ask that they be done so by the Friday for the following Wednesday. And with that, I will pass it along to John from the Lions Club.
Nice segue. Thanks for all the work you've been putting into this program. So what Noreen and I have been able to, I think, put into motion is hopefully as soon as this Monday, as we've decided that we would kind of use the existing delivery system and just simply add another meal per week that would be cooked by our great cook, Lion Joe Sully, and then distributed using the delivery method Noreen already has in place. And there may be, as this grows over time, a need for some additional Lions volunteers to possibly help with the individual delivery towards people who can't come up to pick it up. But the way that it's going to work right now is we're going to be able to mimic. I spoke with Joe just an hour or two ago, and he's ready to start as soon as Monday. It's approximately, I know it varied from 1 week, 40 to 60 meals. So we're shooting somewhere in the 50 to 55 meal range right now. And what'll happen is the Lions will buy the product. Joe will prepare the product. And we've just got to work on the logistics of getting that product, the food, brought to the Mission Blue so that the people who are used to coming up and picking it up at Mission Blue will do the same thing. They'll just do it on a Monday. And right now, we did a quick count just on, the appetite, which is predominantly at this point omnivore, for lack of a better word, although there is a fair portion, that we do expect could be vegetarian, and Joe can accommodate that. He just wants to be able to get up to speed. So we're pretty much ready to go ahead next Monday. I think that this was the best way Noreen and I talked about of keeping, the lack of complexity to a minimum. You come into the same place, you're picking up a meal, it's just a different day. Everything looks pretty transparent and nothing really changes. And so that's where we are. We've basically added a cooked meal that'll happen on Monday. Joe's completely comfortable with that. And then I think we can kick it off as soon as this upcoming Monday, which I think is what, the 4th?
Yes.
Is that going to be for lunch or dinner?
Well, they're all served at lunch.
Okay.
They're all served at lunchtime anyway, even though in many cases it's a dinner, right? And some of the seniors actually take those and they divvy them up into more than one meal, according to Noreen. And I know Joe is very generous with his portions, so that's going to also be the case here. So they'll pick it up between 12 and 12:30 at the Mission Blue. Joe will have it prepared. We just have to worry a little bit about getting the logistics from here to there Noreen and I will iron that out over the next day or so. And that's my report.
Thank you.
Well, that brings it to me.
It
And
does.
I am, well, on the screen just before that, there was something on there about the essential workers. Is it possible to flip back to that screen? On the BCRC website, which you can access at tinyurl.com/Brisbane CRC, we have different places that you can sign up for help or for information. One of the things that you can do is sign up people you know in town who are healthcare professionals, essential workers, grocery workers, delivery people, people that are on the front lines taking care of us so that we can stay home. And we have a fund. The Brisbane Lions Club has received a number of donations specifically to purchase gift certificates from businesses in Brisbane to give to these people that are working so hard for us. So what we're doing right now with the Lions and in conjunction with BCRC is, as people notify us of who these workers and health professionals and different people are, we're giving them a personal note card with a handwritten note saying, thank you so much for everything you're doing for our town, along with a gift certificate from one of our businesses. And as it's turning out right now, we have about 14 people on the list. And we've been able to every other week give essential workers, those same workers, a note and another gift card. So as long as we have money in the fund, we'll continue to buy the gift certificates from the businesses. And in turn, we'll continue giving them to those people that are working hard right now for us so that we can all stay safe. So please encourage people to sign up, or if you know of somebody, sign them up so that we know how to get a hold of them. The other thing that's happening is, in conjunction with the city and the Lions Club, we have a list of senior citizens that we work with throughout the year. And we also do a luncheon every Christmas season with our holiday season with our seniors. We have a list of about 240 seniors and their addresses. So what we're doing is we're sending out a card that just says, hey, we're thinking of you. We want you to know how you can get a hold of us if you need help. I've listed the website as well as the Helping Hands phone number in the card, and just asking them to reach out to us if they need anything. The other things that we're doing on the website, there are places to sign up if you need help. And we're able to, with our list that's also on the website of volunteers who want to help, match people up. And we were talking earlier about masks. We have about 15 residents that are making masks that would like to help residents. So what we've done is, when people ask for help with masks, we're matching them with the people making them. So again, if you need a mask, please get on our website, tinyurl.com/Brisbane CRC. Sign up, let us know you need help, and we will get right to you with a volunteer. We're blessed with almost 90 volunteers right now. Also, I updated the website with all the restaurants that are opening again. And I've also put the links more obvious for the delivery. So when you go to the website, you can at the very top see right on the screen now that there's a link at the very top of the screen. Just click on that link and you will go right to the page with all the restaurants, the grocery stores. If they deliver, click on that link. It'll take you right to their delivery page. If they're just taking phone orders, click on that link. It'll show you where to go to pick it up. And it's any restaurants that you know in Brisbane that are open, that are not on that list, please notify us, because we'd be happy to get them on the list so that people know what's available. I think I've covered everything. Please know that you can always volunteer and donate to any of these funds, and we welcome that. And if you need help, don't be shy, reach out. That's what we're here for. We're all here to help each other. We're very blessed to be in this town. And so thank you. And thanks for
Sharon,
about it.
I know that I don't know if you updated this on your list yet, but I know that Boba Guys the borough just opened for takeout orders.
I totally updated the list in there, right in there.
Cool.
And they have their own delivery page. So if you pre-order, not delivery, I'm sorry, a pre-order page. So you can click on that link and then you can go right to their pre-order page and then go in and pick it up.
Right.
Yeah. So that's it.
Thank you. What do you play?
Okay, good evening, everyone. So we've been obviously getting some questions from members of the public about the financial and economic impact on the city from this event. We've been monitoring this very closely since the event really started taking place in late February or early part of March. We've been reaching out to the various entities within Brisbane, hotel operators, various businesses. We've been talking to industry people, and we've been talking to our fellow cities up and down the peninsula in terms of what they're seeing. The primary issue that we're experiencing right now is the loss of hotel taxes and a downturn in sales taxes, especially in some industries. The hotels have been really hit hard, as I think we all are aware. They're down to about 15 to 20% of what they would normally expect. And that impacts not only their room nights that they are able to sell out, but also the amount of money they're able to charge. Both of those have an impact on the hotel tax that is ultimately paid to the city. So that's the one that probably is the most worrisome to us. Sales taxes, I think we got a little bit of good news today with the reopening of the construction industry. We have a number of sales tax producers in Brisbane that are in the construction industry. And our sales tax in our town is a little bit different than most towns. It's mostly business to business. It's not a retail sales tax. So we kind of depend upon certain industries to be doing well. The ones that are related to construction, we believe will come back fairly strong, fairly quickly. But we also have a number that are related to the restaurant business. And we think that those are going to be very slow to recover and probably be down considerably over the next year. So what are we doing? Basically, we're trying to reduce expenditures to the extent that we can. We've got a selective hiring freeze on right now. We're reducing our budgets to anything that's a non-essential expenditure. The impacts of all this is that we may have some delays or reduction in non-essential services. I just put up there cosmetic and aesthetic issues such as landscaping might not be done quite as often as what we've done in the past. We may have slower response times for non-emergency calls. I will say though, in your medical emergencies, we are fully staffed up and have a lot of capacity in that area. The ambulance system in the county is actually at a kind of an all-time low in terms of demand at the moment. So there's plenty of capacity to be able to respond to any kind of medical emergency. So I want people to feel very comfortable that those kinds of issues will go unabated through this crisis. We've been through this kind of situation before. This is the third major economic disruption in my tenure in Brisbane. And they've all been for different reasons and have different causes. But in a lot of ways, your response to them is fairly similar in terms of how you approach it. This one's a little bit different in the sense that it was kind of like hitting a brick wall at 60 miles per hour. It just kind of happened overnight. So rather than having kind of a lead into it, it's kind of hit pretty hard, pretty quick. We anticipate right now going to the city council with a budget hearing and a budget adoption for a 2-year budget on June 4th. We're kind of waiting until then because we want to have the most up-to-date information that we can before we go into the budget cycle. And we say this every year that, you know, we don't just adopt the budget and walk away from it. We monitor it throughout the year and in real time as events happen. Never more so this year than in the past. This year is going to be one in which we're going to be looking for signs as we go through the budget year. We get hotel taxes, for example, on a monthly basis. So we have a pretty good sense of what's happening in that industry. We get sales taxes on a quarterly basis. So sometimes that's, excuse me, lagging behind a little bit, getting all choked up by this. Excuse me. But that's kind of the status of right now, and we'll continue to update the community as we move along. And I would say that, generally speaking, that, there isn't anything that we've been doing that we won't continue to do. It just may not be done as quickly as we've done it in the past. And it may not be done as often as we've done it in the past. But through the past events, we've kept all facilities moving, or all our facilities open and operating. We've kept our services and our programs intact. This event's a little bit different in the sense that the event itself is causing the closure of some facilities, the pool, some aspects of the park, the community centers, things of that nature. And we can anticipate that those closures will stay intact probably for some time as we go through this because of the social distancing requirements. So that's kind of where we're at the moment. And like I said, we'll continue to try to provide information to the public as the year goes on.
Okay, excuse me, I have an alarm going off. Sorry about that. Okay, so thank you for joining me, Pro Tem Cunningham and Councilmember Madison Davis and our special guests for the evening. I hope everything was informative for you. I understand that the video will now be housed on our website and our YouTube channel, brisbaneca.org/city council page virtual town halls, and youtube.com/Brisbane CA. It's now time for you to ask us some questions. If you look at the bottom of the Zoom app, you'll see the chat. If you click on there, you can raise your hand, and our city clerk will unmute you when it's your turn in line to ask a question. Thanks so much for joining us.
I see no hands up nor any chats.
Right. I guess we did a reasonable job of getting the information out there. It's just been amazing that, oh, okay. Sharon. Ingrid, can you unmute Sharon, please?
I think Rick wants to talk because he did say, how do I raise my hand? So I think Rick wants to talk.
Okay, on the bottom of the page, it says participants. Click on the participants button, and then you'll see a window will pop up and it'll say raise your hand. Then Ingrid will know that you want to speak, and there you go. Okay. Go ahead.
I can talk. Can I talk now?
Yep, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. I am not a real estate agent, but I know some people in town who are. Can you clarify what the restrictions are as far as showing the homes? Because in your presentation, it just said that there was restrictions, but it didn't go into any details of what exactly those details are. And it's very hard to try to sell a house if you can't show the person the house, because most people will not go by just pictures. They'll want to actually see the physical house, and it makes it difficult for real estate agents to have the city say, okay, well, we'll let you resume to selling houses, but we're going to restrict you on how you can do that, but not giving any clarification on what those restrictions are.
Okay.
Thank you.
Rick, so this all just happened this afternoon. In our meeting, we were told that here's the new order and loosely what it is. I'm sure we'll be discussing it with the city manager and the city council, and we'll have very clear instructions out to the public by Monday. Clay, would that be right? Nika, can you unmute Clay for a second?
There we go. I'm sorry, a little slow on that. Yeah, we'll get more explicit information about the real estate. I think as I recall from the order today, that they were really loosened up a little bit, and it will allow for some showing of properties. But again, the whole spirit of this is the social distancing. So as long as people can abide by that, then there's a lot of activities that I think we'll be able to do.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that it'll be something like the people who are looking at the house will be wearing protective coverings on their face. The realtor will have a protective covering, and they'll be keeping the social distance of 6 feet while they're on the premises. That would be, I think, where we'll be going, or something very similar to that.
Yeah, agree.
Is that good, Rick? Okay, thank you. I don't see any other hands raised either. Ingrid, anybody else got any questions or anything else they want to add before we say good night? No?
I don't see any hands.
No? Madison, you're unmuted.
Cool. I was just trying to look for it just now, but it's a 14-page document, and then there's 3 appendices. So I was not able to find it within there, but I'm sure that, let me see if I can do a quick search of the document and see if that can pull it up. Hold on one second. I might be able to find, it's just such small, okay. Service providers that enable real estate transactions, including rentals, leases, and home sales, including but not limited to real estate agents, escrow agents, notaries, and title companies, provided that appointments and other residential real estate viewings must only occur virtually, or if a virtual viewing is not feasible, by appointment with no more than 2 visitors at a time residing within the same household or living unit, and 1 individual showing the unit, except that in-person visits are not allowed when the occupant is present in the residence. So, I mean, that's a little bit convoluted, but that's we'll have to look at it. And these things take time to interpret with our legal counsel. So city staff will have to evaluate it, run it by our legal counsel, determine exactly what that means with respect to, what the city views the protocol should be. But that's what the order says in its, more legal jargon.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything they would like to add? Let's see.
I have a hand from Mitch Bull.
Oh, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Mitch, we can. Good evening.
Yeah, I'm in the process of selling a house in another county up north, and we've gone through the California Association of Realtors, and they have allowed, drone footage, photographers to come out, single people to take photos, do the drone coverage of the property. And it looks like up there, the broker has to accompany a single person looking at the property, and they have to be in booties and face masks and gloves, etc. And that's what is happening this is in Nevada County. I would expect they'll do the same thing down here. But there's about a 12-page California Association of Realtors document just for COVID-19 that everyone has to sign, both the people that are looking at the property, the broker, and the seller. Everyone has to understand the risks involved with COVID. That's what they've done up there.
I did hear something about having to sign a document before you're able to access the house. It'll be interesting to see, though, how, there's so much that goes into preparing a house for sale. Usually you're going to get it cleaned. Often you're going to get it painted or landscaped. There's also staging involved as well. And so it's unclear what support services will still be allowed. Of course, gardening based on this order would be allowed, but, it's unclear if a painter can come, a stager can come, a housekeeper can come. So houses may not be prepared for sale the same way that they would have been, 3 months ago. So, I mean, all that kind of is still remains to be seen.
Okay. Anybody else? No more hands raised? Nobody came in on the chat, Ingrid?
I don't see any new chat.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. I hope this was informative. The next virtual town hall will be next Wednesday, May the 6th, same time, same channel. And if you would like to sign up for the Brisbane Blast, please do so at brisbaneca.org. And I hope this is really helpful to everybody. Thank you and have a lovely evening.